everyone, my name is Len Arboleda, and today we're going to learn how one can become a successful online ESL teacher. Welcome to Start with Five. We have another interesting episode for all of you. The Philippines is known all over the world because of our fluency in the English language. This has even paved the way for many job opportunities for Filipinos, and that includes teaching English as a second language or ESL to learners from different countries. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We will be joined today by Sharon Reyes, who will share with us 5 tips to become a successful online ESL teacher. Let me tell you a bit about Sharon. She is currently working as an online ESL teacher, QAA and coach, and writing teacher at JimEnglish Online Tutorial Center. She has been an online ESL teacher for 15 years. She was previously a customer service associate, and she took up BA Education Studies at the University of the Philippines. And with that, let's bring her in. Please welcome Sharon Reyes. Hi, Sharon.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Start with Five. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. So, before we dive into the tips, I'd like to ask first, ano yung nag-encourage sa'yo to try out being an ESL teacher?
Honestly, I got into it by accident because yung sister ko, ni-recommend siya sa akin. I had just quit my call center job at the time. Tapos sabi niya sa akin, you should try this job. My friend is an ESL teacher and my friend told me it's a lot of fun. And I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And then I applied for the job. And at the time, my company only had 4 teachers. That was the first e- online ESL company, no, yeah, online ESL company that I worked for. Uh, and I got in. I ended up enjoying it, and I've been doing it for 15 years now. I actually didn't realize until you asked me that question, Lynn. So there, that's how I got started. But the situation is different these days. I think many
Mhm,
Filipinos have become interested in this job because it seems convenient.
mhm,
There are two types of ESL jobs, ESL teaching jobs. You
mhm,
can either do it office based or home
mhm,
based. And
mhm.
before, nung time ko, when I started out, mas maraming office based. Yes.
Oh,
Pero ngayon,
okay.
mas marami ng home based.
Oh, I guess people
And
are really seeing the benefits, ano?
and I have been seeing a lot of ads on Facebook
Mhm.
for teaching jobs like this. So I think kaya mas maraming Filipinos ngayon ang interested dito sa ESL teaching.
Ano ba yung process in applying to be an ESL teacher?
Okay. So in our company, so I work for Gym English Online Tutorial Center. We have a Philippine office and also a Korea office. But yung screenings are done by our Philippine office. Our qualifications are quite simple. 2 years minimum teaching experience. Some companies they require na graduate ka. I have
Mhm.
checked some ads and they require na graduate ka. There are some companies naman who accept applicants na hindi graduate.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
Even when I was working for my office-based company, we also accepted applicants na hindi graduate, na undergraduate. Now, of course,
Mhm,
the most important thing probably is proficiency in speaking the
mhm,
English language. And most companies look for somebody for candidates, usually American
mhm,
sounding yun. And
mm.
then what else? Some companies, I said that my company looks for applicants na may 2 years experience. Some accept kahit 6 months lang. And then,
Uh-huh.
some accept kahit walang experience sa ESL teaching, pero may
Oh.
BPO experience or merong, for example, education graduate, school teaching
Mhm.
experience. Or meron din naman, may tinatawag kasi na man-to-man teaching ng Korean.
Mhm.
Do you have an idea what that means, Lynn?
I have no idea.
No, no idea. Man-to-man. Okay. Man-to-man is basically face-to-face.
Oh,
Face-to-face
okay.
dun sa mga tinatawag nila na hagwon in Korea or academies. English academies in the
Okay.
Philippines na they really see each other. Kung nakikita talaga
Uh-huh.
sila, so hindi siya online.
So like parang you meet up at a certain place and then one-on-one kayo, basically tutorial na one-on-one in person.
Ang tawag nila dun man to man. So, 'di ba? Interesting yung expression. Anyway, it varies from company to company. In our company,
Mhm.
there's an initial interview. And since it's online, so sobrang important nung internet connection mo. It will probably be done on Skype, and then they're going to check the quality of your camera, the speed, yung audio
Mhm.
mo, everything. And then they're also going to check one more thing, communication skills.
Of
Right?
course. Uh-huh.
Yes, yun ang una nilang check. In fact, some companies hindi nga sila na kaagad nagaganong interview. They do a phone interview instead to screen the applicants. Usually there is a demo class.
Mhm.
All right.
Based on those requirements na it's really open to a wide variety of people kasi pwedeng may teaching experience, pwedeng wala. I guess yung age, it also doesn't matter like if you're super young or medyo mas mature ka na. Tama ba?
Yes, absolutely. In fact, yung current roster of teachers namin, when you check yung ano nila, yung page namin in the Korean website, makikita mo different courses, different
Mhm.
ages. So, talagang for everybody siya.
What do you find fulfilling about this kind of job?
I get students, different kinds of students. You have different reasons for studying. And then I have already taught mga beginner students. Like we call them zero English. Talagang wala silang
Mhm.
alam na English words.
Mhm.
Tapos after a few months, meron na silang phrases, complete sentence, and then after a few years, complete sentences na sila. So
Right.
yon yung level ng students, how it gets from a certain level to a higher level. And then there are also
Mhm.
students who study for standardized English exams, like for example, TOEFL or TOEIC or
Mhm.
OPIC. And they set a target score and they study with us. And the way we help
Mhm.
them achieve that target score or target level. So
Mhm.
after ng test nila, they would tell us, oh, teacher, I passed the test or I got this score. So that's very fulfilling for me.
Now, can you tell us ano naman yung mga challenges na na-encounter mo in this job?
I'm a mom of two, and so the number one challenge for me is distractions at home. And yeah, I think for me that's the greatest distraction, even for other teachers, kasi we need a quiet environment, yung motivating yourself, tapos lack of interaction with other people, with colleagues,
Mhm.
and then that I think also yung missed opportunity to learn from others. I think yun yung biggest challenges of the job.
Given that Filipinos are known to be very good in English, does this make the competition in your industry more difficult? Or meron pa bang room for more teachers to come in? Meron bang mataas na demand?
I think there's room for more teachers because of the current situation. Um, People used to in Korea, people used to it's hagwons, or what they call academies or private institutions, are still very popular in South Korea. So yung hagwons, those are yung yun face to face yung lessons nila. Pero because of the pandemic, I think mas maraming nakadiscover nitong way of learning English. So, I think they will realize na sobrang convenient siya, and it's very different from a classroom setting. Kasi sa classroom setting, Len, usually they're in a group. So, maraming students. Pero, pag online, one-on-one siya. So, yung
Mhm.
focus ng teacher na sa kanya lang.
Yeah.
And that gives the
Mhm.
student opportunity to talk more in class rather than just listen or do the
Mhm.
activities or take tests. Mas nakakapagsalita sila. And I'm hoping, so I think yon the daming students, so there will be a greater demand for teachers. And because of convenience and yung focus, yung one-on-one.
All right, and with that, let us move on to Sharon's tips on how you can become a successful online ESL teacher. Tip number one, invest
Alright.
in the right gear to meet the technical requirements of the job.
This tip goes for aspiring and also experienced online ESL teachers. It's very important that you have the right tools for the job. Um, from the application process, they check if you have a computer, and even in the the technical requirements, they post that dun sa ads nila. So it's very important that you have a decent PC or laptop with OS of Windows 10. In our company, that's the requirement. But other companies accept yung mga Windows 7 or above. And CPU, Intel Core i3, memory of at least 8 gigabytes of RAM with a minimum of 500 gigabytes free of hard disk space available. Why? Kasi yung box namin, for example, 100 gigabytes na yun. So,
Mhm.
kailangan mo na mas space. Now, this one is very important. A headset with noise cancelling features. HD webcam, yun yung requirements sa amin. Pero I think you can get away with hindi naman kahit hindi HD webcam. Now, um, wired DSL broadband fiber internet connection at least 5 Mbps. Yun yung requirements sa amin. And hindi pwede ng USB sticks. LTE, hindi pwedeng mobile data. Some companies accept kahit mga 3 Mbps download and 2 Mbps upload speed. So, kailangan meron ka nun. And, of course, a quiet space in the house that is free from distractions. And also, outside noise. Kasi minsan, yung bahay mo katabi ng road, tapos maririnig yung mga tricycle. Chine-check nila yun. Chine-check nila yun dun sa. Yes, and pwedeng cause yun for complaint sa class mo. Sasabihin nung student, tatawag dun sa office, sabihin, ba't yung teacher ko, may umiiyak na baby, or merong, yeah, may asong nagbabar, ganyan. So, mag-aano sila. And then, if you have video classes, kailangan mo ng well-lit area with maybe a light-colored background. So, yun. Of course, you should also know basic computer troubleshooting kasi wala kang technical support. Ikaw lang din ang technical
Uh-huh.
support. Problem kasi internet.
So there you have it. You have to invest in the right gear. Okay, let's move on to tip number 2. Having good communication skills will get you the job, but having outstanding teaching skills will help you keep it. I found this very interesting, Sharon, kasi parang automatic sa atin na kapag marunong mag-English, oh, pwede ka magturo. Parang akala nila ganun lang kadali yun. So could you please tell us more about this?
Teachers are initially evaluated for their proficiency in speaking the English language. In fact, yung sa ibang companies, they accept applicants who have PPO experience or kunwari school teaching experience. Some companies kino-consider yon, but other companies are strict when it comes to teaching experience. Now, the first thing that they check is usually your accent. They're really particular about that. Pero you know what, Lynn? I have trained, kasi dun sa office-based company, I have trained teachers na hindi ganun kaganda yung accent. Hindi, kasi wala namang pangit na accent. Pero kasi dun sa job, ang nire-require is medyo American sounding or neutral. Okay. Ngayon, kaya lang, pag medyo obvious yung influences ng Filipino accent yun sa English, doon nahahalata ng student yun. So, ang nangyayari is, kino-complain sila nung teacher. Pero, what's interesting is, may mga na-train ako magaling magturo. They let the student talk more. They give the student a chance to talk more. Conversation kasi is very different from teaching. When I say teaching, dapat you can balance yung corrections mo in class. It means the conversation is fun, but you need to give corrections to the students and not too many missed opportunities to correct the student. For example, I did a Q8 na yung student nagsabi, it's cheaper. Nagets mo yun, Len? It's cheaper.
It's cheap.
Ano, it's cheap, yun. Tapos, sinabi ng student yun, yung student mga beginner to low intermediate. Mga tawag namin high beginner. Tapos, chinek ko, parang walang corrections for pronunciation yung teacher. Although, masaya yung class. Hindi enough yung, maganda yung conversation, maayos. Masaya, pero walang masyadong correction. So, yun yung job ko as QA, by the way, Len. Chine-check ko if teachers I check classes, I evaluate classes, and I try to remind teachers na, this is what you need to do to improve your class. I noticed something. Energy covers up a lot of shortcomings. Energy is very important. May konti kang lapses sa communication skills, pero ang dami talagang
Mhm.
nako-cover up na energy. Ayan, 'pag masaya
So,
yung class.
oo,
Yes.
pag na-engage sila.
Yes, yes. Then
Oh.
did I mention yung and I think I mentioned yung booking system and also yung regular students then. So, 'di ba pag regular students ka, the student studies with you for a long time.
Mhm.
Like in my case, yung pinaka matagal kong student is 6 years. And then I recently found out na may booking system na yung maraming companies. So you open up
Mhm.
slots and then the company assign students dun sa slots na yon and hindi mo sila kilala. Papasok lang sila
Random
dyan.
lang.
Random siya. And then, di mo rin minsan alam kung ano yung ituturo mo, yung lesson mo. So, unlike yung sa regular students ko, kilalang kilala ko na sila.
Oo.
6 years ba naman, diba? Yeah.
Actually,
Oo.
nakakaano nga yun kasi parang akala ko before, when you enroll
Mm.
in courses like this, 6 months, 12 months. Or parang
Ay.
or course 1, course 2, tapos na. Pero meron palang tumatagal like as long as 6 years. I guess for continuous improvement ba ang goal nila? That's why they keep on enrolling?
I think so. And I had the chance to meet some of my students 3 years ago when I was given a travel incentive by my company. And dun ko na-realize when I met them na nagtataka kasi ako parang, "Magising ka maaga para makapag-usap sa akin or something."
Oo.
Yeah, para mag-class. Sabi ko, "Bakit kaya?" Tapos 6 years na rin, 'di ba? In fact, yung 6 years na yun, naubos na namin siguro mga 3 libro, 3 buong libro.
Oo.
Tapos na namin lahat. Tapos, mauubusan ka na na, mauubusan ka na. I think a successful teacher is somebody who gets the student to study longer. I think yun yung successful
Oh.
na teacher. Or, in a booking system, I found out na pag nagustuhan nila yung class mo, ibubook ka nila ulit.
So they can choose you the
Yes.
next time around.
Yes, the next time around. That's if you're available. Kasi pag booking system, kung kailan ka lang free. Yun yung isang disadvantage, kunwari nun. Pero yung students ko, 6 years. Tapos, you can imagine, Lynn, that I said na kailangan na mag-good teaching skills kasi paano mo makikip yung student mo? 'Di ba? Paano mo siya makikip as, kuwari ako, 10 yung students ko. Tapos laging may nagko-quit na student, 'di ba? Tapos lilipat sa ibang company. So hindi mag-grow yung company yun. Pero ako, if I'm doing my part for the company, tapos yung 10 students ko, solid yun, hindi yun nababawasan. 'Di ba? And
Mhm.
then, pag may bagong, and my students have referred a lot of new students sa company namin. So that's how the company grows.
Oh, interesting. So dun siya pumapasok. I mean, it's good for the student, it's good for you, it's good for the company also. If you
That's
have
right.
that
That's
perfect
right.
combination of communication skills and good teaching skills.
Absolutely. Yes.
And with that, we move on to tip number 3. Be creative enough to adapt teaching methods to students' capabilities. Okay, Sharon, could you tell us more about this?
I think successful teachers can teach any kind of lesson to any kind of student. We have a so-called level test. After you identify kung ano yung level ng student, yung student na yun, magde-decide na siya, oh, sige, mag-aaral na ako. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Tapos, ibibigay siya sa teacher. So, sa regular system to, Lena, malalaman namin yung level ng student. Medyo prepared na kami. Alam na namin yung lesson. But imagine in the booking system. So, in the booking system, hindi mo alam kung anong level ng student mo, anong age ng student mo, anong lesson ng student mo. So, kailangan talaga flexible ka. Right? Another thing is, kuwari ako, I have a young student who is a beginner student. So, when I have a young student, I have to be beginner siya. So, very simple yung words ko, yung questions ko. Tapos, hi, how are you? Very slow yung pagkasalita ko.
Uh-huh.
What are you, ganun siya. So what are you doing today? Pero pag, after that, biglang advanced yung student ko. So, imagine yung shift. Like, hi, how are you? So, how's everything today? Okay, so, yun, yes. So, hindi mo alam eh, minsan may bata, may matanda. So I think, dapat creative ka and ang daming types of lessons. Pero mo may standardized, may job interview pa rin. Job interview.
Ah.
Yes.
They come to you with requests na, could you train me for a job interview? May ganong specific
Yes.
na requests.
Yes, may gano'ng request.
Oh.
Aha.
Ah,
Meron pa,
oo nga.
iba-iba talaga sila. In fact, one of my students is, nag-join siya ng, she's a member of a book club in South Korea. Tapos,
Mhm.
she's trying to understand. Meron siyang book, medyo mahirap intindihin. So she's asking me to help her understand yung English,
Oh.
some English passages from. So
Uh-huh.
nagva-vary talaga siya. And it depends on the students' needs, students' levels, and
Mhm.
you have to play. I guess you have to play by ear sometimes.
Mhm.
And so yun, be
Depende
very
kung ano yung
flexible.
need. Oo, ano yung
Yes,
need, kung
yung
saan sila mas
need.
ma-e-engage, kung nasang level
Ah,
sila. Ano yung palang factors to consider, ano? It's not as simple as magaling ka sa grammar, gano'n na.
hindi
Teaching.
siya gano'n. Kailangan mo mag-adjust minsan walang gap yung classes mo. Sa'min may 10-minute gap, minsan nagiging 5 minutes 'pag nag-extend ka. So, mag-transition ka kaagad to the next student. Gano'n siya kabilis. Kailangan talaga flexible ka. Alright?
All right. And that is tip number 3. We move on with number 4. Be professional, but know when to be a friend, playmate, a confidant, an advisor, or sometimes a shock absorber.
Aha.
Paano nangyayari yun? How does it happen that you need to play all these roles?
You have to be professional, but at the same time, since you've been studying with them for a long time, for example, you have to know when they're not feeling well, or 'pag bata, kailangan makipaglaro
Mhm.
ka talaga sa kanila. And then,
Mhm.
yes, nakikipaglaro ako with the sa video class, for example. Then, sometimes magko-confide sila sa'yo, tapos minsan hingi sila sa'yo ng advice. Nangyayari yun 'pag matagal na yung student sa'yo. So,
Ah.
I think, ultimately, they do wanna learn how to speak English, but they want somebody sincere to talk with. Alam mo yun? So,
Mhm.
I think that's what makes the relationships, the relationship between teacher and student deeper. Although, yun nga yung ano, yun yung challenge. Kailangan professional ka pa rin.
Mhm.
Hindi pwedeng lagi na lang friends kayo or ano. Dapat,
Aha.
hindi mo nakakalimutan yung job mo as teacher. Right?
So you have just really strike that balance between between professional and personal.
Yes. Not sure about the booking system, kasi I've never tried it, but I think it's also possible kasi, like my friend yesterday, sabi niya sa akin, booking system sila and
Mhm.
meron na raw siyang regular student. So, I think may opportunity din sila to have regular students.
Sa
Ayun.
bagay, no? Kasi kung yung like the student that's been with you the longest, tumagal na ng 6 years, parang imposible na hindi mag-crossover. Medyo
Yes.
may bond na kayo.
Actually, and when I met them in person in South Korea noong 2017,
Mhm.
naramdaman ko yun, na yung alam mo hindi ka lang nila teacher pero friend ka rin nila. Parang gano'n.
Mhm.
So, even after kunwari nag-quit sila ng company, nagme-message pa rin kami. So, yeah, we
Mhm.
keep in touch with each other. So, I think
Oh,
yun yun.
that's nice.
Yeah, they stay with you 'pag, magaling ka magturo, you do your job as
Mhm.
a teacher, and at the same time, you have a somewhat deeper relationship with them.
And we move on to
Okay.
the final tip, which is never stop learning. Nagtuturo ka na, nagle-learn ka pa. So how do you do this in your job? Paano yung process of continuous improvement?
Siguro for new teachers, you
Mhm.
learn more about your students' culture, language, or custom. Well, watching Korean drama helps. Yung mga nakakatulong yon, nakakatulong yon.
Uh-huh.
Because, for example, meron silang gustong i-express.
Mhm.
Kailangan sometimes mind reader ka din. For
Uh-huh.
example, I'll give you an example. Meron silang tinatawag na Konglish expressions. So, for example, sabihin nila sa'yo, so I'll ask the student, so what did you do? What did you do during the weekend? Well, I went eye shopping. Can you guess what that means, Liv?
I
Eye
went
shopping,
shopping.
window shopping.
Oh, eye shopping.
Eye
Okay,
shopping.
oo.
I'm sorry, what do you mean by eye shopping? You could ask for clarification. Kahit alam mo na yun,
Okay.
kasi lagi ko na naririnig yun. What do you mean by I shopping? I went to the mall and I looked at okay. Yeah, I did some window shopping. And then, for example, one student, this one is very useful and if you ever go to Korea again.
Mm.
Service. Service. Um,
Service.
yes, one student, she she bought some clothes from a store. And then sabi niya sa
Mhm.
teacher niya, service is socks. Pinakita niya yung socks. Tapos niya, service is socks. Can you guess what that means?
I have no
Namili siya
idea.
ng clothes ha, tapos may socks siyang gano'n.
Oo.
No, service is socks. Sabi niya gano'n. No, no, no. Sabi ng teacher niya, bakit ganyan yung socks na pinili mo? Sabi, no, no, no. Socks is just service. Can you guess what service means, Len?
I have no idea. What does it
Aha.
mean? Service is socks.
Service is socks. Sabi, service. Sinasabi na, service. Freebies.
Oh,
Freebies!
okay.
Yes! So, yung student ko, when I went to Korea, sabi niya, pupunta ka ba sa cosmetic shop? Don't forget to
Mhm.
ask, service, service, where is my service? My
Ah,
service. It means, asan yung mga freebies ko? So, pag may
ah,
binili ka raw sa kanila, pwede
ah,
kang humingi ng freebies or bibigyan ka na lang talaga nila ng freebies. Lalo na pag marami kang binili.
oh, oo. Kailangan
Alright.
sobrang ano yung hearing ano mo diyan ano, hearing skill, listening skills mo. Supposedly familiar word. Parang ang hirap niya palang
Aha.
i-catch minsan kapag iba yung context, iba yung
Yes.
pronunciation. Ang hirap.
Yes. So, yun yung mga interesting na mga, eto may isa pa, play. O, so, sasabihin ko, so what did you do during the weekend? Oh, I played with my family. Uh, okay, or I played with my friend. What did you play with your friends? Nothing. We just went to the restaurant, we watched the movie. So, yung ibig sabihin pala nila nun is hang out with their friends or spend time with
Ah,
their family. Aha. So, may mga
oo.
ganon, yun. Iba yung ibig
Oo.
sabihin na nila play. Parang play is parang chill, relax, ganon.
Aha, aha.
But not necessarily play a game.
Mhm.
Ayun.
So, gano'n pala, parang kumbaga in the same way na tayo, meron tayong Taglish, yun yung sinasabi mo na
Yes.
Konglish.
Yes. So
Ah,
Konglish expressions, sa tayo may mga Filipinoisms tayo, kailangan alam mo yon. So
hmm,
may
mhm.
mga lists nun online, kailangan alam mo yon as a teacher. Kasi yun yung ano yun yung isang opportunity to correct na, if you say that to a native speaker, they won't understand you. So it's much better if you say it like this. So kailangan mo ituro sa kanila yung mas commonly used term for that. Ayun.
Oh, okay. So,
So yun.
yung learning mo pala, like when you say never stop learning, apart
Aha.
from the books, you learn the culture, you learn yung
Yes,
ibang
yes.
context that they use
Aha.
the language in.
And another one is food.
Diba?
Yes, food. Kuwari alam mo dapat yung kimchi jjigae or yung jjukbokumbap. For example, kimchi jjigae, that's kimchi stew. So tinuturo ko sa kanila. So yun, and they really like it when you can relate to something
Mhm.
dun sa kanila. That's an opportunity for you to teach the English equivalent of that
Aha.
word. And you have to read a lot of news about your student's country, yung political situation nila.
Mhm.
That's very. I know that usually when you're having a conversation with someone, we try to avoid political issues. But my students, particularly Koreans, are very patriotic. So you might be surprised how willing they are to share their thoughts on certain political issues. But of course, it's a given na matagal ko na silang students. So
Mhm.
they like talking about yung political situation nila. Yung students ko in particular, yung country nila, yung mga nangyayari sa kanila. For these days, I read a lot of news about the pandemic kasi so I teach them yung certain words, kunwari
Mhm.
asymptomatic, yung mga ganyan, yung
Aha.
mga never stop learning kasi iba-iba yung industries ng students ko din.
Aha.
Meron sa IT, meron sa
Ah,
blockchain, meron sa business. So, na-adjust ko yung kailangan kong malaman yung certain terms sa industries nila
aha.
para para magamit namin sa class, para magamit din nila sa class.
para mas practical nga naman for them, no?
Yes.
Kasi
Yes, that's right.
in a regular setting, they can always use it. Ah, ang dami mo palang i-explore. I mean, it's not just one topic that you have to learn about, but a whole
Yes,
other range of topics.
that's right.
Question, kasi since you're
Yes.
around Korean students a lot, so does it make
Ah,
you, ikaw ba, of course, Korean culture is very popular in the Philippines. Has it made you embrace the Korean culture also because of, being a teacher to a lot of Korean students? Or have you been a fan even before?
15 years ago, hindi pa gano'n kadami ang Korean drama, I think.
Mm,
Hindi pa siya gano'n ka-popular as ngayon, hindi pa talaga. So, yung friend ko sabi niya sa'kin, ikaw yung isa sa mga taong even before yung parang Hallyu, yung K-pop na wave nag-hit sa
mm.
country, mahilig ka na talaga. Pero, hindi pa ako interested before. Hindi pa talaga. Nung naging teacher na ako, dun lang ako naging, dun ko talaga na-embrace yung culture nila. In fact, nagluluto ako ng Korean food, ganyan. Pupunta ako sa part na nung life ko, ang kimchi, ganyan. Hindi ako makasurvive pag walang kimchi sa refrigerator. So, yun ang nangyari sa akin. Tapos at some point, nag-aral ako ng Korean, pero hindi ko siya natuloy. But anyway, interested naman talaga ako sa culture na. Siguro kaya dun din ang gagaling yung desire ko to learn more about their unique situation in Korea
Mhm,
and
mhm.
yung sa students ko. Ayun. But in
Mm,
summary,
nice.
Len, I believe yung saying na insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So, if 6 years ka na, 'di ba? Tapos if you're doing something in class and it doesn't work, then you
Mhm.
need to try something new. Try a
Yeah.
different strategy, 'di ba? So, ako hindi ako English teacher by profession, pero I always try to find out kung ano yung mga bagong trends. So, hindi ka
Mhm.
talaga pwedeng mag-stop. And, ang dami kong natututunan from students. I learn a lot from them. I
Oh,
learn a lot from
that's
them.
nice. That's nice kasi ano siya, it's a two-way traffic between the two of you, between you and the student.
I think yung views ko as a person have been really influenced by my exposure to Korean students. Na patriotic sila, so ako rin parang it also inspired me to become more patriotic, ganyan, about more parang mas mag-care about yung concerns sa country kasi grabe yung love nila for their country, Len. Ramdam na ramdam ko.
Oh,
Ayun,
talaga?
yes. Yes.
Nice.
Mm.
That's so nice naman. Okay, and with that, 5 tips from Sharon Reyes. Let's do a quick recap. We have 5 tips to become a successful online ESL teacher. One, invest in the right gear to meet the technical requirements of the job. Having good communication skills will help you get the job, but having outstanding teaching skills will help you keep it. Be creative enough to adapt teaching methods to students' capabilities. Be professional, but know when to be a friend, playmate, a confidant, an advisor, or sometimes even a shock absorber. And finally, 5, never stop learning. Thank you so much, Sharon, for sharing your time and your tips with us. I'm sure that those who have been wanting to pursue this career were inspired by the stories you shared. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Len. Thank you for also giving me the opportunity to talk about online ESL teaching. And actually, it gave me a chance to look back at dun sa 15 years of teaching ko and to share what I've learned so far. I hope that your viewers will find this very helpful. So thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you
Okay.
so much. It's been such a fruitful 15 years, and I wish you more successful years of being an online ESL teacher. Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed this episode and learn from our guest today. Being an online ESL teacher is definitely a good career option, like Sharon said, for those who wish to put their communication and teaching skills to good use, especially now that we're facing a pandemic and it's important for us to stay indoors as much as possible for our safety. You can do it. Take those tips from Sharon and then put them to good use. Take it one step at a time. Start with 5. Bye, everyone.